Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
So check it out. The D6 Squad has merch now. We got hoodies, tees, mugs, whatever you need. Check it out. Link in the description. What's going on YouTube? Diggy546. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video. And I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. So something that I've been thinking more and more about. I actually made a video about this kind of last week with 5 receivers that I think the Giants should target as far as that third tier receivers. But going back to my topic today, I'm not really sure if the Giants are going to target that top receiver. And there's been a lot of talk about Kenny Golladay again. Do we give up a second-round pick for him? That's what the Lions are looking for if they tag him. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Now, this is kind of funny because I would have given up a second-round pick for him, no problem, early on in the season. When he was on the trade block, it would have been bad. It would have been a bad trade so far because he's been injured. But that also brings me to why I don't think I would give up that second-round pick. The dude is always injured. He's always injured, and it kind of, besides his play on the field, the injury scares me. It really scares me because to even have paid him on the open market, we're taking a real risk. But to pay him on the open market and give up that second-round pick, that's a completely new level of risk because you're going to have to pay him top dollar. He's probably going to want to play on a franchise tag this year and get a big extension, this upcoming next year. So you're going to have to pay him next year. And if he's injured, then you just wasted your second-round pick because you're probably not going to extend him if he's injured all year. So that's a lot to deal with, and that's a lot to look at. And then when you look at the other receivers here, Curtis Samuel, Corey Davis, they don't really jump off the page. Allen Robinson probably isn't coming here. So the Giants, I think, are probably going to have to go receiver number 1. They're going to have to go receiver or Kyle Pitts, first pick in the draft. There's pretty much nothing we can do. And then when you look at even just the second round, if Terrace Marshall found his way to the second round, which would be crazy, I'd be celebrating. But even if the Giants were to trade back, we might be able to use that second round pick to get someone like Nico Collins, who is the big fast guy, just like Kenny Golladay. I like Kenny Golladay because of his body type, because of his speed, and because of his ability to take those contested catches consistently, go up and get those passes consistently. But the injuries are the only reason why I probably wouldn't make that trade, giving up a second-round pick for him. I'm so gung-ho about attacking that receiver, signing him in free agency. But the injuries kind of outweigh the risk of not only signing him to that big contract, but also giving up the second-round pick. Because I believe we can get a good receiver at that second-round pick. If we end up, for some reason not taking a receiver first round or not taking that tight end first round, or even if we do take someone like Kyle Pitts first round, if we are able to go out and get Nico Collins or if Terrace Marshall magically is there, I think they can pretty much do what Kenny Golladay does. Mind you, I think Kyle Pitts can do what Kenny Golladay does. A lot of people don't want to acknowledge it, but I think Kyle Pitts can really do what Kenny Golladay does right now. So I don't know if I will make that trade. There's a lot of receivers that I think we can get. And how many receivers does Daniel Jones need? When the season first ended, I was going to overkill. But I don't think they're cutting Slayton. I don't think they're cutting Shepard. It wouldn't really make sense to cut either one of those players. Their salaries are not ridiculous. And they're good players. We know they're good. They're not people who are number 1 receivers who are going to dominate, but they're good players. Darius Slayton could be a solid number 3. Sterling Shepard could be a solid number 2. And even then, I still think we're bringing in multiple receivers. If we bring in any free agent guy, big free agent guy, any kind of big free agent name, it'll be Curtis Samuel. So that's what I'm thinking now. But if we don't, we could possibly go Waddle first round. We could possibly go, a receiver in the third round. We could go a receiver in the second round. So I think we're going to add at least 2, premium kind of receivers. Whether that be, an $8 million guy from that list that I said, maybe someone like a Brashad Perryman who, maybe, or, Brashad Perryman and a Waddle, which would add a lot of speed, or a Tim Patrick, who is a restricted free agent, who's going to be a little bit harder to get, and a Waddle and a Devontae Smith. I would like that. And then you, like I said, you have the second and third round to add receivers too. And the more I see Kenny Golladay and the more I look at him last year, he was so banged up. Imagine paying this guy, trading for him, and then him playing like 4 games for us next year. The risk, I mean, if he's healthy, oh, I'd do the trade, no problem. But the risk is kind of outweighing the reward. And I think we might be able to get similar skill set, a similar kind of receiver in the second round, which, you know, most of the receivers are going in anyway. And then we have the ability to probably get one of these top flight receivers. I just feel like one of them will be there. I don't know why. The mock drafts say otherwise. The experts say otherwise sometimes, but I just feel like one of them will be there, whether it be Devontae Smith because of his frame, whether it be Jalen Waddle because of his height. I just think one of them are going to be there, and all 3 of those guys are number 1 receivers, and I'm on the Rashad Bateman train. I think that he can be a number 1 receiver, and I think he gives you that vertical threat, someone who can go up and get the ball out of the air. So Kenny Golladay, I would hold for right now. I would really pause on that right now if we were considering a trade for him because of those injuries. Other than that, he's a great player. If he's on the team, I'm not going to be mad. So you guys let me know what you think of this Kenny Golladay trade rumors. I mean, the Giants haven't really been in any kind of rumors of actually offering anything. But he actually hasn't even been traded yet. It's mostly if he does get tagged, which I meant to say not traded. He hasn't been tagged yet. It's more of if he does get tagged, what, will we make that trade? Because they're probably looking to tag and trade him. And they could possibly just be looking to tag him and keep him with Jared Goff. and if he's gone, then they're probably taking one of those top receivers in the top 10. So Kenny Golladay, I don't think we should trade for him. Because there's other ways we can get receivers. And I think Daniel Jones you got to do something yourself, man. You got to take this top flight receiver I think we'll get in this first round, make do with that. And, that's going to make everybody else in this offense, including Saquon Barkley, a lot better. I mean, I do think that we're going to have to add, as I said, 2 more receivers with, I feel like, premium kind of resources, which I see as, over like $6 million and a top 3 for a pick, which if we don't take a receiver in the top 3 picks, someone should be fired. Someone should really be fired if the Giants don't go receiver in their top 3 picks. So I think that we might take 2 receivers in our top 3 picks because the value is just there. And we need guys. And it's just all up to, can Darius Slayton beat these guys out? Can Dante Pettis beat these guys out? And if they can, then we have a really deep receiver room, because if those were just down years for Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton, then imagine what, up years with help, with another year under this system are going to do for these receivers. With a better version of Daniel Jones in this system are going to do for these receivers. Because if we line up and we have Waddle on one side, Curtis Samuel on the other, Shepard in the slot, and, maybe Slayton, on the other side, maybe we have 4 receivers. I feel really good about Waddle, Samuel, Shepard, and Slayton. I feel really good about that because I feel like Slayton could possibly be a number 2 receiver. So there's no harm in it. And I think that Kenny Golladay is probably too much of a luxury for a team that's not competing for a Super Bowl right now, and a team that really can't afford to give up these resources for someone who might not be able to play even half of the season for them. So he's got the injuries. You guys let me know, do you think that the risk of giving up that second round pick is worth him coming in here and, maybe getting injured and still, being that number 1 kind of target? So if you made it this deep into the video, I'm calling you a D6 Squad member. If you're a D6 Squad member, you got to hit that subscribe button. You got to turn on that notification bell. And listen, I make all kinds of content for NFL teams. So if you're not a Giants fan, don't worry. I'll cover your team. If I'm not covering your team, Let me know, and have a good one.